WLBT, 3 on your side. WLBT News starts now.
The boil water advisory is over for most of the capital city, but many are not ready to forget the inconvenience.
The water is receding in some areas, but what a mess it's leaving behind. The latest on the flood conditions plaguing parts of our state.
Plus another big Tuesday for the presidential hopefuls. We'll take a look at what states are in play as we move into Mega Tuesday.
And another mild morning start, a little bit cooler than we were yesterday, but we're waking up to temperatures that are in the low 60s. Jackson at 61, Pelahatchie 58 degrees, Prentice at 58, and Natchez at 63. This afternoon, we could possibly rival a record high temperature. We'll talk more about that coming up in a few minutes.
A citywide boil water notice has been lifted for most of Jackson, but at least once a year, boil water alerts impact Jackson restaurants. Employees say it affects much more than their ability to serve certain items. Oftentimes, they have to buy ice and bottled water to meet customer demand. At the Manship restaurant on State Street, they went through 200 bottles of water and 400 pounds of ice in just hours. An alert also means increased labor costs because it takes longer to wash and thoroughly clean the dishes. While Jackson's precautionary boil water notice has been lifted, some residents have not gotten the all clear just yet. 7 streets in North Jackson must continue boiling their water. They're all in the Norwood Neighborhood Association, almost 350 homes. This will be their 5th day of boiling water, and they say it's their 3rd recent precautionary boil water notice. They fear broken water lines are why they are still included.
We certainly understand that, but still, in terms of the emergency situation that we've got going on in the city, again, we've had a number of breaks in the city, our share of them, and hopefully that does not have anything to do with it. But
city officials say they released clear water sample results for those streets that came in from the state health department and are awaiting the all clear for the remaining streets.
This morning we're hearing from that missing kayaker who was found alive after a search in Rankin County. Cheyenne Barfield says he was searching for a friend on the Pearl River when he got lost. His friends called the Rankin County Sheriff's Department, who put a boat in the water and began searching for him. Barfield says he flipped his kayak. He was able to make it to shore and then walked more than 10 miles before finding help.
Flagging people down, that didn't do anything for me, and finally Terry PD came by me and asked, a guy barefooted wearing a life jacket, where you headed? I was like, whichever way's home, I guess. And I'm just glad everybody's okay.
Right now, the Pearl River is near moderate flood levels and the current is extremely swift. It is not recommended you get in the water even if you are an experienced boater. The Coast Guard has suspended the search for 2 missing boaters in Claiborne County. Brothers Joshua and Daryl Wilson went missing after fishing on the Mississippi River last week. Response crews have searched for more than 84 hours and covered more than 900 river miles.
More rains expected later this week and could cause more flooding in parts of Hinds, Rankin, and Madison counties. The Pearl River was supposed to crest yesterday at Jackson, but the newest forecast now says it will crest at 34 feet around 7 tonight. Floodwaters are likely to inch closer to some homes and businesses in Hinds County, but emergency officials do not believe it will get high enough to get inside. Here's a look at the high floodwaters at the spillway on the Madison County side of the Barnett Reservoir. The parking lot where people come to park and launch their boats to fish is underwater. Over on the Rankin County side, local fishermen are taking advantage of the high waters. Though we've been dealing with the high waters here in central Mississippi, other parts of the state are struggling too. Folks in South Mississippi are also feeling the effects of last week's rain. Perry County emergency officials say the Leaf River has crested in New Augusta, but they still expect the water to rise just south of there in the town of Beaumont, possibly another 6 to 12 inches. In Sharkey County, residents in the Deer Creek community are also dealing with severe flooding. A viewer sent us these pictures that show water covering entire roads and getting very close to homes. This situation has many residents in that area concerned.
Folks living in parts of Clarksdale are still having to use boats to reach their homes. Rose Eckler went along with one homeowner who discovered there wasn't much left. For those of you filing an insurance claim for flood damage, the national insurance experts say it's important to remember that your general homeowner's insurance policy does not cover flooding damage. You're only covered if you have flood insurance through the National Flood Insurance Program. But you do have coverage on your car, and you may not even realize it.
Lots of folks don't realize that got flood insurance on their cars through their comprehensive coverage. If they just carry a simple liability policy, that wouldn't cover flood on their vehicles.
And be sure to take pictures of your damage before you make repairs.
On the coast, sand beach crews are cleaning up the mess left behind by last week's storms in Harrison County. They're using heavy equipment to clean, rake, and smooth the sand. They're working first in the high traffic areas of the beach. Crews are also hauling away the sand that was blown onto Highway 90, the parking areas along there, and the median. Meanwhile, officials in Laurel are preparing for more mosquitoes. They say they plan to spray city roads twice a day, 5 days a week. The standing water and floodwaters have led to an increase in the mosquito population in that area. City officials say they want to be extra cautious about mosquitoes spreading diseases like West Nile and now the Zika virus. We are enjoying a bit of a dry spell right now, but don't put the umbrella away just yet.
Yeah, Julia.
We do have the chance for showers as we head into the second part of the work week, but for today, we're looking like we're going to be mostly dry, and as you look outside right now over the Alpha Insurance Skycam view of downtown Jackson, you see a quiet-looking picture. Not many clouds around downtown Jackson. However, if you're waking up farther to the south, you might be dealing with some of those clouds. What's the big story for today? A possible record temperature, the record high 88 degrees set back in 1982. The forecast high for today, 87 degrees. It's going to be a warm one outside. We'll be flirting with that record. We'll talk more about what to expect hour by hour through the day and how long this warm trend will last coming up right after this.
Next time you hear a strange noise while driving, beware. It might not just be horsepower under the hood. One woman found a dog there. You don't want to miss this story. Next.
While you were sleeping, a bomb squad detonated a homemade explosive in Florence and made an arrest. Cheryl Lester has details in the Alert Center. Cheryl.
Yeah, never a dull moment, Wilson. Florence police called the Clinton bomb squad around 1 a.m. Police had pulled over a woman on Highway 49 near the O'Reilly Auto Parts store, and she was found to have a homemade firecracker type device in her car. Part of the highway was blocked as law enforcement detonated the device on the scene and arrested the woman. The charges against her are unknown. She is at the Rankin County Jail, and her name has not been released. That's the latest from the Alert Center.
This is WLBT First Alert Weather.
5:10 now. Glad you're with us here as we start off our Tuesday morning. I'm First Alert meteorologist Julia Weidman.
Well, the folks at Scotty's Tire and Auto in Pearl have seen a lot of strange things under cars, but when a woman drove in on March 2nd complaining of unusual noises in her vehicle, technicians found a most unusual stowaway underneath. A frightened dog was up under there. Somehow this undetected passenger survived the 25-mile ride from South Jackson to the auto shop there in Pearl. Despite bloodshot eyes and a small burn on his back, that pup managed to wag his tail when it was all over. The vehicle's owner was so overwhelmed, she decided to adopt him. His new name is Lucky, and he rode home inside the car instead of underneath. Set outside now for a live look at First Alert traffic. Interstate 55 at Woodrow Wilson, all clear this morning. That's the case all around the metro area. We've checked with our law enforcement sources. They tell us there's nothing out there that should slow you down this morning.
Do they have any respect for the dead? Do they have any respect for these other people's loved ones?
For Donald Trump goes too far for members of one Illinois community. How they say Trump supporters crossed the line. And it could be do or die today for John Kasich. A look ahead at what could be a game-changing day in the race for president.
Welcome on back. Time right now is 5:16. As you wake up and get ready to head out this morning, this is what you'll be stepping out into. Florence at 59 degrees, Madison at 61, Canton at 60, Vicksburg 65, McGee right now at 56. This morning is a mild morning, at least by this time of year standards. Typically, we're seeing temperatures in the upper 60s this time of year for highs. Now, we're already about at that level this morning. So again, as you step outside, it is going to be mild and a warm day in store as well. We'll talk more about the afternoon temperatures in a couple minutes.
Voters in 5 states head to the polls today with special attention on the winner-take-all contests in Ohio and Florida.
99 delegates are up for grabs in Florida's GOP primary and 66 in Ohio.
The Buckeye State is crucially important, with Governor John Kasich betting his campaign's future on a win there. Reed Binion's report.
Reed Binion, 3 on your side.
Members of an Illinois community are blasting Donald Trump supporters who they say trashed a cemetery during a rally. Residents say rally goers illegally parked at the location, damaging the grounds and even some of the gravestones. Over the past 2 days, volunteers and firefighters joined together to clean up the lawn. The cemetery's manager says there was insufficient parking at the Trump event and that police are investigating what happened. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back, and I want you to watch me impress Julia. First Alert Doppler Radar has a clean sweep.
That is perfect.
Yay!
You have my job. You don't need me anymore.
No, you're the best at your job. I'm going back over here.
Here's what's going on this morning. No showers, and that means a quiet commute for you. So as you get ready to head out the door, expect to walk out to some cloud cover in some areas, especially south of Jackson. But we're seeing generally clear skies over the metro area. Temperatures in the low 60s this morning. Look at those afternoon temperatures. My goodness, going to be in the 80s today. It's also going to be a breezy day as well. We're going to see those winds coming out of the south-southwest. Wind gusts for most of us up to about 25 miles per hour. Could be even gustier than that in the Delta today. We'll talk more about the winds and the temperatures and everything you need to know for today in the next few days, coming up in a couple minutes.
While you were sleeping, a shootout on Chicago's west side. 3 Chicago police officers are hurt. A suspect is dead. Police say a narcotics tactical team observed a drug deal in the area just before 10 p.m. When the team confronted the suspects, that's when the men opened fire. 3 officers were injured. One of the officers was able to return fire and shot and killed one of the 2 suspects. The other suspect took off running and was not caught. All of the officers are expected to recover.
Some Gulfport residents are speaking out about more gun violence in that city after a man was shot in the head early Monday morning. The victim was airlifted to a hospital in Louisiana. Police are still looking for the shooter. Residents say they are fed up with violence in Gulfport and they just wish people would put the guns down.
I love Gulfport, man. I hate to see how it's been around here lately, man. It's been crazy. It's been like this for a while now, and I hate to see it, man. It breaks my heart.
A lot of it is just senseless violence that can probably be talked out, but people are... their pride, they can't put their pride to the side. And I think when you get older, you get a lot wiser and you realize some things are not as important as you thought they were.
Police are reaching out to the public to provide tips on that latest shooting. A judge says the actions of a man who crashed a snowmobile into 2 Iditarod teams could amount to terrorism. Arnold Domoski was arraigned via teleconference in Fairbanks, Alaska. He's facing multiple charges, including 3rd-degree assault, reckless endangerment, and criminal mischief. Domoski is accused of intentionally crashing his snowmobile into 2 Iditarod racing teams, killing 1 dog and injuring several more. He claims the crash was an accident. Happening today, Apple's response to the Department of Justice is due. This is the latest move in the DOJ's case against Apple to unlock the iPhone of one of the San Bernardino terrorists. Authorities say the phone could provide more information about the shooter and the plot behind the deadly attack. But Apple claims it would breach the company's promised protection of the privacy of all of its users. Both parties are due in a California federal court to settle the dispute next week.
He's throwing up some words, I'm gonna say some freestyling that you never heard. Constitution, the POTUS, I'm freestyling. You know.
Yeah, check out this live freestyle rap performance at the White House. The stars of the hit Broadway show Hamilton took their talents to Washington, D.C. yesterday and put on a performance for President Obama and the White House staff. Later, Hamilton writer Lin-Manuel Miranda and the president went out to the Rose Garden for a little fun. There you see the president holding the cue cards. And Miranda there, backed up only by just a little drum beat, put down a freestyle rap made up of words, making news headlines like Supreme Court and immigrants. Dairy Queen is kicking off the spring season 5 days early with its annual Free Cone Day today. Customers at participating locations can stop by and get a free small vanilla soft serve cone, Wilson, during normal business hours in exchange for the free cone. The DQ is once again accepting donations to Children's Miracle Network hospitals. Dairy Queen has raised more than $100 million for Children's Miracle Network hospitals in local communities over the last 30 years.
So you say a free cone. Is there any ice cream in it? You just get the cone.
You know, only you would say that. You just try that and go to Dairy Queen and say, I'd like a cone.
I was looking for free pie everywhere yesterday, and there's free cones today. What's tomorrow? I can't wait to find out.
We shall see.
5:25 now. More on the forecast coming up.
Welcome on back. Possible record temperature in store today. We're hitting a high in the upper 80s. The record is 88 degrees. That was set back in 1982. It's also going to be a windy day today. A few showers, possibly a few thunderstorms, especially early tomorrow morning, around 80 degrees, and then getting a little cooler for Thursday.